A warm welcome to all of you for joining us virtually tonight on Bevy, which is the event platform that you are using right now. I believe most of you haven't used this one yet. So thank you for being here for this exciting sharing session where we will explore the fascinating world of AI in cybersecurity. All right. So remember to get comfortable and also prepare your notes and pen because at the end of this session, we will have a quick Q&A session. So we will answer your question during that session lah. So meanwhile, the session is going, save your questions and focus on the sharing session by our speaker. So without further ado, let me introduce our speaker for tonight. Our speaker is Noor Aliah, which is who is a red team intern at Firmus. She is a fourth-year information security student at Universiti Saint Islam Malaysia USIM, and she is also a Global Cybersecurity Summit, Global Cybersecurity Camp 2025 participant, and also one of the Malaysia representative for the first APEC Fellowship Program in Taipei, Taiwan 2024. And she is also proudly one of the Malaysia Cybersecurity Camp 2024 crew and the Malaysia Cybersecurity Camp 2023 alumni. Before that, I would like to go through a bit of our agenda. First, we will do a bit of for AI users in security, and secondly, we will go through the log analysis with intelligence, and then we will explore the adversarial risk in cybersecurity and Q&A session before we end our session with a photograph. All right, without further ado, let's give our stage to our very beautiful speaker tonight, Miss Shafira, or I can call you Fira.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right,
That's fine.
the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Hold on this one. Do this or okay, never mind. Is it okay if I do like this? Okay, you guys see like the entire screen, right? Okay, so hi, assalamualaikum, and a very good evening slash night I bid to everyone. First of all, thank you so much for coming to my session. It's actually like the first time for me to give a little bit of a slightly technical sharing. So yeah, before that, okay, here's a bit about me. I'm Fira. Most of this has been mentioned by our host here, Jack. Okay, so a little bit of addition. I am also currently a member of Women of First, which stands for Forum of Incident Response and Security Teams, and I'm part of the special interest group. And also, yeah, I play a bunch of CTFs and hackathons, and currently exploring AI security, specifically in LLMs. But I'm not limiting myself to that only. But yeah, so the primary one is LLMs currently, among other things like forensics, web, and so on. And I'm a Stardew Valley occasional player, if you know who this chicken is. Right. Okay, so the obligatory forewarning before we go further, I would like to clarify that I am not in any way, shape, or form an AI security expert. So anything that I'll be sharing tonight is based on my own learning, and also stuff that I discovered like throughout in my entire journey of delving into AI security. So anything that is shared here is for educational and awareness purpose only, and a lot of it are from my own personal view. So do not take it like something like a holy grail. And I really encourage you guys to do your own research on top of it, but see it more as a starting point in delving into AI security, because I am aware that in Malaysia, in particular, AI security has been trending, but there's not much of a, you know, the resources, I would say, can be quite intimidating to delve into. So I hope this sharing will serve like a good platform for you to understand, if not, dip your toes inside what is AI security is all about. And yeah, here's a AI generated friendly women hijabi hacker. I think I regenerated this one with Sora. Okay, at any point of time, if my voice sounds like a little bit like far, please do let me know. Okay, so sorry. First off, we're going to start with introduction to AI use cases in security and how AI is changing the cybersecurity landscape. Okay, first of all, what is AI? We're talking about AI. What is it all about? So AI in general, the textbook definition is the algorithms and systems that enable computers to perform tasks, especially that requires human intelligence. So, I don't have to ask the $1 million question. I believe that every single one of you at some point have used AI, right? Okay, so the core idea is about AI is it learns from data to make its predictions, decisions, or to identify patterns without being explicitly programmed for every specific scenario. I believe it's something that, like a, shall we say, a very easy example for you, for us to see is like, the use of Gen AI, like ChatGPT, like you ask it a question and it magically can, somehow answer your question. So that's the role of AI. Okay, so some key subfields of AI in terms of security is one of it is machine learning, where the algorithms it learns from historical data, for example, like past attacks or normal network traffic to identify the threats. And also in terms of deep learning, it is a type of machine learning that use complex neural networks to analyze, vast amounts of raw data. For example, here we can see is logs, packet captures. Those are considered raw data. Raw data, raw data in the sense that the data is at its form and it's not simplified in a more simplified view. All right, and another one is NLP or natural language processing, which it enables AI to understand and process human language. For example, we can see this where we want to analyze threat reports or phishing emails. Like I believe now we do have like AI powered or AI assisted, phishing detection and stuff like that. It's kind of funny because you're using a bot to understand a bot in in a way. So yeah, okay, and that's that. So what is cybersecurity? So cybersecurity is the practice of protecting your computer systems, your networks, your programs, or even your data from attacks, unauthorized access. So unauthorized access, damage or theft, these are forms of those digital attacks. So the goal here is it revolves around the CIA triad, which is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So the key activities here is prevention, detection, response, and recovery from cyber incidents. Okay, so I got this image from wallarm.com. Okay, okay, so now the $1 million question: why AI in security? Okay, so three things I would like to highlight here is like the overwhelming threat landscape. Um, as technology advances, as an analyst, we deal with like a massive volume of threats. So the introduction of AI or the integration of AI in security in itself in a way to help these analysts to siphon through the amount of the massive volume of threats. Like with the use of AI, they can like narrow down like what are the things that they are supposed to be focusing on, rather than getting lost in those threats somehow, getting lost in these massive volumes of alerts, logs, and so on and so forth. And second is the increasing complexity. Okay, as AI is, I believe it starts booming like it has been around for some time, but I believe the Chat AI has been trending for like 5 or 6 years. If I correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so with the booming of new AI versions, uh, or AI branches such as Gen AI, XAI, stuff like that, so the complexity of attacks is increased. So uh, the integration of AI helps analysts to keep up, or analyze these patterns of complexity, and being able to and easily helps them to distinguish the attacks that are getting more complex. And third is analyst burnout. This is highly related to point number one, where when you as an analyst, when you deal with like this huge volume of threats, like it's very easy to get lost in it, especially for blue teamers. I believe uh, they have to siphon through these threats and identify whether it's an actual threat or it's a false positives or false negatives. It can be, you know, daunting and also tiring for them. Right. Okay. So some of the limitations of traditional security tools, right? It's highly revolves around rule-based or signature-based detection. It relies on what I mean by this, it relies on predefined rules and non patterns of malicious activity. Okay, for example, when I give the easiest example or something that can come off on top of my head is like when you're analyzing logs. Let's say using tools to analyze logs, you have to like create a rule or signature. You have to select it based on the rules that is built in inside the tools or something like that. So it's often ineffective against unknown attacks or slight variations of known threats that does not match the existing signatures. So why? So this is where AI comes into the picture. It really helps on the automation and scalability. So the automation and scalability that AI can provide is through the use of um, the AI API kit, AI API. Like you can integrate some tools can be integrated with AI to perform forms of automation, and it's really scalable. And then also, as AI's one of its main core is that it learns as you feed it data. It learns as it goes. So hence why the adaptive learning comes into place. And then third is about the enhanced accuracy and speed. So as AI, it relies on vast amounts of data for you to shall we say get something more accurate. Like for example, uh, in terms of when we're talking about this, right? How can it can enhance its accuracy and speed, because when we tell them, okay, this is something like this, and also not only from what we input it to them, and it also comes from its 3D model itself. So when, as I said before, through its adaptive learning, it helps in enhancing its accuracy and speed. So it really, in a way, the automation opportunity that AI provides really helps us in security when it comes to these factors or this stuff. Alright, so these are some of the core use cases. I hope this is readable, and I forgot to change the font to make it a bit bigger. My apologies. Okay, so first of all, in threat detection, so one of it can be done is we can use it to identify malicious patterns in network traffic for, like, for example, C2 communications, endpoint behavior, like for unusual process execution or user activity that is considered not normal. Uh, that one. And second of all, in terms of anomaly detection, so first it establishes a baseline of what it considers as normal for systems, network, or users. And then if, let's say, the user behavior is deemed as, is considered as not normal, it can immediately flag those as indications of 0 days or insider threats or compromised accounts. But this method is often unsupervised. So next one is malware analysis. You can automate classification of malware into families, and you can predict the malicious intent from code structure or behavior in a sandbox, static or dynamic analysis, and identify the obfuscation techniques. In terms of phishing, you can use a combination of NLP and ML to analyze the email content and the sender reputation to identify sophisticated phishing attempts that can bypass simple keyword filters. And in terms of threat intel, it can be seen when you process and correlates vast amounts of unstructured data. So um, as in threat intel, you receive so many data from in a form of unstructured data, when we say like blogs, forums, dark web, CTI feeds. So with the help of AI, it can help you to provide some sort of structure and helps you to identify the emerging TTPs or tactics, techniques, and procedures, and helps you in predicting the attack campaigns and prioritize the vulnerabilities. So, and next is on incident response automation, especially in SOAR or security orchestration, automation, and response. So, in this case, AI can provide an enhancement through automation and orchestrate initial response action, like in the sense of what to do during um, incident response automation, like for example, block the endpoints or blocking IPs, or increasing the alerts based on AI driven analysis and predefined playbooks. Okay, now this is like a example application. Okay, in this case, one of this is using machine learning for endpoint detection and response. So as you can see here, from the endpoint telemetry, we like receive some inputs, and then during the data collection process, a few processes that happens inside their own process, which consists of process creation events, network connections, file access events, API calls. They analyze those things inside it, and then they send it to a feature engineering, and then the feature engineering itself would later sort these, send these inputs and everything from the data collection into a model selection. So model selection here, I break it into three, which are random forest models, support vector machine models, and neural network models. These, shall we say, data or information sent to these models um, serves they have each models serve different um, different purposes. Then after that, we will get the input whether it's a malicious activity or a benign activity. Benign activity means like it's not seen as a threat. So this is like a very simple, shall we say, workflow on how machine learning is integrated and can be used for EDR. Okay, next. Okay, okay, is about threat hunting with anomaly detection. So anomaly means it's something that is might be or might not be malicious. So the goal here is to search for unknown threats or IOC that has bypassed existing defenses instead of reacting to alerts, because not every alert is it can be a false positive alert. So how does it help? It uses unsupervised learning models to find rare patterns that deviate significantly from normal behavior. So there are two ways you can do that. First of all is the statistical models, where in this case it established a normal distribution for various metrics. For example, there's like data transfer volume or login frequency, and it flags outliers in the sense where, okay, this seems suspicious, so it would flag it, so you would like consider it as a potential anomaly. Another one is unsupervised ML models, and so these can be classified into three so shall we say sub branches. One is isolation forest and how it works, where it efficiently identifies anomalies by isolating them in fewer random partitions than normal files. For example, like if let's say they flag this site, there's like a 3 to 4 anomalies, right? So they will like flag it down based on, okay, what kind of like criteria they are like showing in the sense of that. Okay, another one is autoencoders or neural networks. It's it's trained to reconstruct normal data, and also another way is clustering by using DB scan. So it groups similar data points. Like let's say, okay, this is data point A, this is data point B, C, D, E, F, and then after the clustering, you found that okay, there's a few clusters that has not many, it's not really big in volume. So from that point on, you can like, and it usually it might be like seen as a potential anomaly. uh, okay, so another one is an extension of it is, first of all, we have to first define what is considered as a baseline normalcy. So in this case, the AI model, it learns what is considered normal behaviors for users, devices, or network segmentations over time. Uh, Next one is to identify the deviations. What kind of deviation is, it would flag or alerts that the actions or activities or things that are considered significant, that is, shall we say, very boldly not considered a normal pattern. For example, in a company, you have the CEO, you have the C-suits, you have the staff and everything, and then we will the AI model will learn like, okay, for C-suits this is their behavior, for staff in what department, here this is their behavior and something, and so on and so forth. So when it has learned about that, so when it comes to detecting like malicious activity, it would flag like stuff, what we say consider not normal patterns. For example, um, maybe Bob from finance suddenly is super interested or has shown some activities like accessing uh, other people's payrolls or bonuses or some stuff like that, or what else, stuff like that. People who don't really gain supposedly to gain access or supposedly do stuff like that. So this is considered okay. This is not what Bob is supposed to be doing. So yeah. And then last but not least is human investigation, where security analysts they investigate these flag anomalies to determine if they actually are threats. I mean, does actually do Bob from finance does he actually have the clearance to do that? You know, stuff like yeah. So it's like that. So another one is AI in SOC. So so the challenge here is, sorry, can I have minutes to drink? Not really. I have a sort of. My apologies. Okay. Right. So when we say AI in SOC, so the challenges in current SOC, one of it is high alert volume, the analyst fatigue as we previously discussed, and also the need for speed. So how does AI come into the picture? Is it can provide alert for triage and prioritization. Like they'll basically say like, hey, this should be triage and this should be prioritized. Can you check it out? Stuff like something like that. And so NLP for alert summaries, like you can use natural language processing for to summarize an alert. You can just simply something like, hey, summarize this alert for me. What is it all about? Yeah. So it helps to like paint you a picture like what's actually going on in that, in behind this incident and stuff like something like that. And also AI co-pilots or chat-based interfaces is similar to what we have for NLP for alert summaries or something like that. And also an automated playbook for SOAR. Okay, next is on AI and threat intel. So one of the challenges on in threat intel is some of it are vast, unstructured, and rapidly changing threat information from various sources. So in my opinion, becoming a TI is it can be a very tiring work because depending on where you focus your TI is, it can be quite daunting for you to you know analyze and then structure all this information for your own use. So, how does AI come into the picture in improving or assisting threat intel? Is it provides an automated data ingestion and processing, and then next is it provides a name entity recognition and IOC extraction. Like, okay, it would like uh, from all these various sources, it would like highlights the name entity recognition and then extract the IOCs for you to do the report. And then it does help in a TTP classification and provides a summary on what's going on. And also, it does come with predictive analysis. Predictive analysis is predicting what sort of behavior that they would uh, this sort of attracts with like info will show and everything. But then again, this form of action does need a bit of human intervention at some point, but in a sense it helps the analyst in reducing the, shall we say, providing more speed and shall reducing a bit of their burden. Not I would say burden lah. Something on reducing the amount of work that they have to do. Okay, some of the challenges of using AI in cybersecurity, like we've seen, like how AI can be applied in threat intel, SOCs, and so on and so forth. So some of its challenges is the accuracy and reliability. So this boils down to one thing. It's called AI hallucination, where it basically like creates something that's not actually there. So as if you a very um, good example that you can see in everyday life is, you know, the use of ChatGPT or or other form of Gen AI like Gemini and anything. You could see that they have a bit of like a disclaimer at the bottom where they say, you know, the ChatGPT make mistakes, Gemini can make mistakes. Do double check the reliability and something, and so on and so forth. Even I personally try a lot of Gen AIs, and I've seen like a lot of, you know, inaccuracies in various fields, not limited to cybersecurity itself. For example, in academic writing, if you want to use like Gen AI, certain Gen AIs for writing, it would it would like generate a completely, you know, different or, you know, analyzing resources that doesn't exist. So hence why the cases of accuracy and reliability, it does still play, shall we say, that is still considered a huge challenge in itself. Another thing is in terms of explainability and trust, uh, where uh, can you really trust? It highly relates to uh, the first point. Like, can you really trust what they're saying? Is it really accurate? So that's why, um, before, if you're using AI in, not only in cybersecurity, in anything in your daily life, it's important for you to, you know, cross check it first before, you know, using it inside, probably in academic citations and stuff. And also in terms of resource intensive, so this is highly related in the creation of an AI model itself. To create an AI model um, that is better, that keeps on getting better in terms of accuracy, you need to not only have a vast amount of data, you need to have the hardware requirements for it. So the main shall we say, the main hardware that is used to train these models is GPUs, and they can be very, very expensive. And so yes, to create a good AI model in itself, not only, you know, requires uh, data, but it requires like some hardware specifications that is, shall we say, not very attainable uh, for someone doing it as a personal project or something. Yeah. So it can be very expensive to train your own AI, and, you know, even get your hands on some data, because some data can be, to buy it in itself can be expensive. And last but not least, in terms of data quality and quantity, related to about the point, on the quantity part, it relates to what I said just now, or resource intensive. But data quality also plays a huge role in determining that the AI model is good or not. So um, in the process of creation of an AI model, right? First of all, of course, you need to have the data. And then when you have the data, you would have to like go through the process of excruciatingly clean the data, like removing noise and a lot of things, you know, giving it a bit of structure before you train them. And then more often than not, um, when it comes to the process of training the model, it does not like it's not the case where you just train it when you just train it, you say ABCD, you probably use the techniques in uh, AI model training. I mean, I'm not going to talk about that. That's a completely different topic. But yes, when it comes to data quality, AI model is not something that you can like train in one day and it automatically can be as good as ChatGPT or the other Gen AI models out there. So yes, data quality plays a huge role in how good the AI model that we are going to be using, uh, if we are implementing it in cybersecurity, right? So before I move further, can I check if there's any questions? So yep. Okay. Right. I hope everyone is still with me since like it's mostly muted. So yeah, it feels a bit creep. Never mind. Let's move on. Okay. Next is log analysis with AIs. In terms of enhancing threat detections using LLMs. So this is going to be presented in the student project perspective, which is actually my project, which I call it parse logs. Okay, so a bit of rundown about what is it all about. So first of all, why logs matter? Like why do I choose? Why in in building my FYP, I decided to do this, and then it's basically it stands for me wanting to tinker with something like how can I integrate AI. It's like something that I've been learning on the side with security, like something that I've been exploring, I've been doing for the past year. Okay, so that's how this project mainly came to fruition. Okay, so first of all, why logs matter, why are logs so important, especially if you're a blue teamer. So it serves as a digital evidence. It's a critical record of systems, network, and application events, and it also a core resource of information for incident response and forensics. It's very important for you to understand the attacks, like what happened, where, how, and then also it helps in uncovering the attack stages. Like it can reveal the initial compromise, the lateral movement, persistence mechanism, and data exfiltration attempts. Okay, so some of the challenges in manual log analysis, like is the volume and variety. Like it's too many logs, it's too many formats, which makes manual review impossible. So I believe even seasoned analysts do struggle with uh, the volume of variety of logs. And then second of all, the complexity and the noise. Okay, when we say logs come in a whole lot of different forms. You have Windows event logs, you even and even in Windows event logs in itself, it has a few different variations. I apologize. And so with all these log complexities, it's hard when you do it manually. It's very hard to find the real threads in shall we say noisy data. Like it's just like rows and rows of stuff, everything that's happening all at once. Like there's a high chance that you may miss it. So hence why it needs an expert analysis on that. Okay, another one is inference, where it struggles with new or changing log formats, and then some logs they have they lack a deep understanding of what the log is all about. So maybe you see a log and then you just say, okay, process cleared, something like that. But like, okay, process cleared, then why is the process clear? Like, what's going on over there? Like, so stuff like that in terms of inferencing is it's not it can be like unclear in some log formats, and also you need to do manual updates for new types of logs if you're doing it in manually, which can be tedious. And yeah, why is not so okay? Anyway. Okay, so the foundation of my project is I integrated the use. So the foundation is for EVTX, which is Windows Event Log, which is important for endpoint forensics in terms of its log informs or in security system application, PowerShell, Sysmon, stuff like that. And Hayabusa is an open source JPC or CC tool for fast window event log analysis. So I get this question a lot, even from my supervisor. Why do I decide to use to show to do log Windows event log analysis with Hayabusa? Because it passes comprehensively and it supports multiple output formats in form of .csv and JSON. So usually, for analysts, you analyze logs through in .csv format, and then it has a Sigma rule integration for threat detection, and it provides a structured data from raw EVTX, and it can convert this raw data to structured CSV for further use. Okay, so this is a bit of a DFD on how this project works. This program works. First of all, we receive a user input in terms of the user gives um, the raw EVTX log data here, and then yeah, it uploads on the user interface, and then so from the UI sends the logs to Hayabusa. With Hayabusa, will turn into a form of process logs in the form of CSV or JSON, and then we all these data will be passed to the LLM, which stands for large language models, which is also a type of AI. We'll try to go a bit further on that later. So refined data here means that the data, in a way, the data is the AI can interact with the data in the form of human interaction language (NLP), and then the process data will be displayed on the UI to the user. Okay. So, what is the role of LLMs here in my project? So, the LLM, it grasps the log meaning and context, unlike the previous methods, which uses basic keywords or rule-based methods. So, in my project, the LLM, which is attainable and accessible via the integration of the use of Llama Index and OpenAI API, I am able to do a semantic search. Like I can query the logs with natural language to ask more intuitive questions, and it can uh, provide contextual understanding, can interpret the links between the logs and queries and give a relevant answer. It can provide a summarization, and it can also aid in filtering data. Okay, so some of the prompts that I use. So what is prompt engineering is all about? Sorry, I get a bit ahead. Okay, so what is prompt engineering is all about? So it's all about crafting the effective language prompts to guide the LLM to produce an accurate and relevant output from the index or log data. A very easy example I can give is again when you use Gen AI, like you're asking it, hi, can you please, from this data I give you, can you please summarize this? So yeah, that's prompt engineering. That's what we call prompt engineering. So some of the categories or classifications involve like basic retrieval, like just very basic, very general. You just ask it like, summarize this log event, like what is event this day, and then retrieve all log data with this event, or Another one is category filtering, where you show all logs with the level of severity, whether it's high or medium or low. And then another one is aggregation and counting. Okay, what is meant by aggregation and counting? And like you ask the LLM, okay, how many amounts of failed logins, how many amounts of suspicious activities, like, or even how many logs that are classified as high or medium or low or info. Okay. And also something more intermediate. For me, I would say, least failed log attempts from this one, this ID from this IP, or find the events where privilege escalation occurred. So that's these kind of prompts. It um, pushes the AI to think more, to go a little bit deeper based on what the data that you have provided. Okay, so some of the benefits of LLM assisted dog analysis. So in this context, in my project, usually when we say about AI, when we're using AI, when we're creating AI assisted stuff, we normally measure its accuracy, but that's not my goal. When I created this, when I do this for my final project, that was not my goal. Sorry, another drink break. Right, I'm good. Okay. When we where was I? Okay. When we say about improved efficiency, so it's easier, it's quicker for you to extract the information rather than manually review or the output from not only Hayabusa but also from other tools. But in this case, it's Hayabusa. Next is enhanced usability. Enhanced usability in this context, that the ability to use natural language queries makes logs easier for non-experts to analyze and check it out, like what is this all about. Because I was aiming to do it like, not only it can benefit analysts, it can also benefit someone that is probably not very that doesn't have a very technical background uh, in understanding logs. uh, because to understand logs with a zero background may feel like, what is this gibberish? Yeah. So we are seeing right now. This is just the UI. So another one is contextual insights, like the LLMs allow us to check like what's the story or context behind this log event, and also provides with a more focused analysis, like it narrows down the Hayabusa outputs to detail relevant to specific user queries. Okay. It's time for my demo. Okay, hold on. I have to switch tab. Okay. There's a DFT. Okay, I know. I know that's not a DFT. My apologies. Not very accurate. Translate more effectively, of course, bro. Is AI trustworthy? I'll do the Q&A sometime in towards the end, if that's okay. Okay, hold on. Share screen, sharing on this one. This one? Mm, this one? Yep. Hold on. Where's this tab? Okay. Share. Okay. Can you see it? Okay. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. Right. So this is something that I have. This is what my project looks like. It's really very simple UI, to nothing too fancy here. Okay. So I'll just select. I'll just demo one for you to look at. Okay. Probably this one. Let's try this one. Okay. So now, in my case, it automatically passed the EBTX file. So the process that happens here is it passes the file into from raw log data to CSV format, and then it loads the past data inside the llama index, which is, shall we say, the knowledge base of the program, and then it builds the semantic search index. Okay, now you see here is it shows like a, oh, this like a, there's a high level. Okay, never mind, I'll just erase this question. Okay, so you see here, you saw that, okay, it classifies like this one log as it flags it as high, so we can ask it like, okay, oh, show me high level, maybe something like show me high level, high level, uh, only, something like that. So just run the query. Okay, so here you see the log cleared high, it gives like a successful overpass the hash attempt. Okay, I'm just going to imagine myself like someone who's a totally newbie. I don't know what is logs. I just got a log, and then I just want to know what it is all about. So I'm just going to ask it, like, what is overpass? Oh, sorry, what is overpass the hash? What is overpass the hash? Okay, Overfast, so it provides like an insight to you, like what is it about? It's a high risk activity when an attacker successfully uses stolen hash credentials to authenticate and gain unauthorized access to a system or a network. Okay, what else? Why why is it, maybe you want to ask it, why is it classified as overpass the hash? Okay, you can ask it like that, something. So it's classified like that because it's a successful attempt to use a hash of a user credential to the limit and something like that. It provides the goal of this program that I created is you can query logs instead of doing, manual analysis. Sorry, manual analysis. I don't know why. Oh my god, my English is not Englishing tonight. Oh dear. Okay, so there's also like a FAQ section that I did here. So if you like don't have an idea what am I going to ask it, like this, so this is all some of the questions that you can ask it. Okay, so some of the things that cannot be answered in my program is questions related to uploaded data. Maybe try asking it who is the who is what is the weather? Not too hot. What is the weather today? What is the weather today? Let's see if we can answer it. I don't think so. I mean, I program it to not be able to answer that. So yeah, it's my program is not able to answer stuff. So do not mistake it like a Gen AI. My program is more like RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. This is something which is also another branch of AI that um, I would like to talk about it, but I don't think we have the time. So sorry about that. Okay, but yeah, in AI itself, from the three main use cases like NL, what was it again? And machine learning, NLP. What was the other one? I already forgot already about it. So from those big branches, they still considered a big branch of AI. There's also like sub. But there are also like sub branches under it, and retrieval augmented generation or RAG also falls under it. So in this, what branch of AI that I'm using in this project is RAG. Like um, an easier, shall we say, distinguishment from Gen AI is that it cannot go beyond what it's given. In Gen AI, it's very widespread. So in RAG, it's not able to do that. Okay. So next is about my project limitations and risks. So I did mention, I did uh, tell you guys a bit about it in terms of memory and scalability. For security purposes, they do not keep the memories of the logs for security and privacy reasons. And but in terms of scalability, can it be what's the challenges of scalability in this case? Because I am using OpenAI API, which when in my case when I'm evaluating the usability, it can be very expensive in terms of tokenization and query output. So those things are quite expensive, to be honest. If you're using my method for you to scale it on a larger scale, it's quite expensive. Yep. And also it lacks of real time analysis. Like um, in this case, it's pretty much static. Like you feed it log data and then analyze it, then yes, can do it. But not the case for if you're running a live log analysis, you're viewing live logs, and can it do that? So far, no. My project is that is way beyond the scope of my project, and then also it's has limited advanced threat detection. So for regular ones, it can do that, but nothing beyond of maybe you can detect zero days or something like that. Still very far from its capability. Right. So another one is the general LLM risk for log analysis. As I've touched a bit on it before, or oops, sorry. First of all, is the hallucinations and the fabrication. Like it makes up something that is not there. Maybe it could in this case, one of the big risks that it can impose is like how it can say stuff that does isn't necessarily there, or give you like false positives and stuff like that. So it's uh it's a good practice and highly encouraged to not simply trust everything the AI says. I mean, I'm pretty sure this has been said through a few times throughout, but I know like some people like take AI, as the holy words or something like that. So please try not to do that. Try to do your own research first before and take these things into consideration, especially if you want to integrate LLMs in your work, and then also the context windows limit. This one, in a sense, where um, in terms of its tokenization, where some AI models they have like a generally in general for this form of speed, how much is the tokenization? Tokenization is like the amount of character that it can process in a fixed in a time. So yeah, so different AI models have different Windows limits, and then when you bypass the limits, then then the issue of API calls and rate limits come into place. Like when in my case, when my project reaches rate limits, like it's unable to function at all. So I have to like reload, shall we say, pay for the API costing and everything, which as it amounts to, it's quite expensive. Can be very very expensive. And last but not least, in terms of data privacy. So data privacy, I am not sure if any one of you have ever done it, but some of us may be a bit guilty on oversharing our data. Like, you often hear the terms oversharing in real life, right? So, oversharing in this case is that you share uh, all the information that are classified as sensitive inside AI models. For example, you want a quick job, and you just paste everything, and then I said, can you generate me bullet points, and can you generate me something, some whatever for whatever purpose or whatever reasons, you dump your sensitive information inside an AI, and please be reminded that these data stays inside the models in itself unless it has I believe recently you have the option to delete memory, but then again it just deletes memory. Delete memory is not the same as you how to say this delete memory is not the same as deleting the data inside the model. And then even if it claims that it deletes your data inside the model, it does not you don't have like any form of guarantee, isn't it? Like you can't like just jump into the model, imagine yourself jumping into the model and check, hey, is my data is still here? You can't do that. I mean, it's digital, what, right? So yes, there's a concern of data privacy. Like how much personal or sensitive data is um considered allowed to be shared, because in terms of log analysis, let's say if I'm analyzing my own computer logs. So inside of computer, like so many like events here and there. So I might be unintentionally exposing my personal information on that. So that is also a risk that you have to consider. Right. So shall we take? What's the time now? We have another 30 minutes. So yes, which brings us to the third slot of tonight, which is when AI gets strict. So introduction to adversarial AI. Okay, hold on. Let me just see if there's any. Sorry. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure the slide. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. How long have I been yapping without the slides? Oh my goodness. You guys were probably like, what the hell is she talking about? I'm so sorry. Okay, let's go back. Let's scooch back a little bit. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, so where was my demo? Where was my demo just now? Eh? Okay. Oh yeah. So this is what I've been talking about. A bit of recap about memory and scalability, and to scale my project into something much bigger, like sense of the abilities to analyze a larger amount of data. It would be quite hard in terms of its costs. One of the major issue is cost. Yeah, and also in terms of memory, like uh, what uh, what form of memory, like can I keep it inside the memory, like what is the concern. So this one is highly related to the point where I talk about AI, this one, data privacy. And also in terms of like of real-time analysis, since this one is more is a static analysis one, so it's not equipped to do a dynamic uh, live or live log monitoring. No, it's not. It's not that there yet. And also, it's a limited advanced threat detection. So, like advanced threat detection in the sense that can it like detect TTPs or stuff like that? Not really. So yeah, this previously I've been talking about general risk, LLM risk for law analysis, where I talk about the hallucinations or fabrications, where it creates something that's not there, or totally incorrect, like it makes up information. There's a very high possibility for that. And then also the context window limits, like how many tokens and query outputs. Query output is like uh, if you know like how many, how long does it take for it to like understand what you're talking about to it. Tokenization is like the number of characters, like let's say, for example, what is apple, so it's probably like 4 6. So it's like already 30 here. Sorry, my bad. My math is bad. So I'm doing calculations in my head. So yeah, those are considered like context window limit. Like how many queries can it handle in a time. So and what happens when you went past the context window limit. So most of the time it probably won't be as efficient as you can see in Gen AI. It won't be as efficient to handle very, 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 very long queries. And also in my project, in terms of API costs and rate limits, API costs, yeah, because I'm running the LLM part integrated with OpenAI API. This is the more robust one, but then again, this project was done sometime a few months ago and hasn't been properly updated. So there are probably other API uh, AI API models that are cheaper. Yeah, I can't vouch for other models yet because I haven't personally tried them yet. But yes, uh, API costs can be very costly, and once you reach the rate limits, it's basically you can't use it anymore. So yeah, and another one is data privacy, as I've uh, explained before. Okay, so yeah, so what happens when AI gets strict? So adversarial AI. So what is adversarial AI is all about, right? So adversarial AI is basically techniques that is uh, purposely designed for you an attacker to input inside to an AI system to cause it to not behave properly. So the core idea here is you exploit the weakness, the blind spots, or the patterns in AI models to undermine their performance or integrity. Okay, for example, as security as threat actors, I prefer to use the term threat actors than hackers. So as threat actors, they may input inside an AI module, hey, can you generate a malicious SQLI payload for me so that I can use it to attack this website? Nah, 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 nah. Most probably you would get the response that you want, but that's the general idea. Like you're trying to trick the AI into giving in, you know, whatever it is that you want. So some of the adversary goals or the attacker goal here is, first of all, in terms of evasion, poisoning, inference, and extraction. So talk more about that later. Okay, so these are types of adversarial attacks. Okay, so we have here, it's a training data, like imagine it like a container contains all the data that you can think of. Maybe it's about cats or about cars, about dogs, or people, science, whatever it is. Lots of types of data. So you have the poisoning model here. You have uh, model inferencing, you have extraction attack, you have AI model evasion attack. Here, let's get into it. So what is it all about? Okay, first of all, in terms of poisoning, okay, here poisoning part here. So what is it all about? So poisoning attack is like it sneaks bad or mislabeled data inside training sets. So what happens here is that models they learn wrong or make errors or get hidden weaknesses. For example, maybe okay, in here I give an example. It labels cat pictures as dogs to fool an image model. I mean, it does happen. You can check out here. Yeah. Okay, and then for evasion attacks, okay, evasion here, like what happens in evasion attacks? So in evasion attack, it slightly change input data to trick the models into, making an error. So what happens here is that it bypasses the security measures that is being placed, which cause AI to make wrong decisions. I mean, there is a difference between making mistakes and blatantly being wrong. So in here, the example is like you make a you an attacker it uploads a tiny pixel change inside uh, image models that it feeds inside an AI model to make a self-driving car misread a stop sign, something like that. So another two is extraction attack, which targets the AI models that has been deployed. So it repeatedly query the model to figure out its structure and settings. So it asks the model in terms of, okay, hey, what can you do? What can you extract? Like what can you what's your potential? So this one is much common or easier to see inside AI assisted if a company implements AI assisted you know programs. For example, AI assisted um, uh, emails. So it can like ask the AI model. So it can ask the AI model, hey, what's the hey, what kind of information can you extract? You ask it something like that. To figure out what kind of information can you extract, can they give it to you? You try, it's in a way it's trying it's a way for you to trick the AI to find to give you what the to give an attacker what they want. Yeah. Okay, another one is inference attacks is where it targets deployed ML models and the training data where it analyze model outputs to guess the private info from the training data. So in this case, privacy leaks and expose confidential training info. Like for example, okay, you can try for what else? Yeah, let me think. Okay, referring back to the previous example I've given, which is an AI assisted, the email system where you can you can check for the outputs of the system to guess the private info that they can give it to you. It's quite similar to extraction actor, but but in terms of inference, you're trying to make connection like what can it give you, like what kind of information or foreshadowing or an idea for you to extract stuff from it. Maybe you would maybe some models would reply, hey, I can do this, I can do this, I can extract information this and this and this. So you from those kind of inference you can uh, then trick the AI to give you something, or expose the confidential training info, or like in a way, in a sense, like how is it trained, like so that is also uh, a threat in itself. Okay, next is so I'm going to touch about two forms of adversarial attack, which is prompt injection. It's quite common here. So the idea of prompt injection is a malicious or threat actor, they they crafted a malicious prompt, and then it sends to the AI data, and then it, the prompt injection happens from query. It can happen from query. Okay, this one is a, for example, is a stored prompt injection. So maybe in this case, uh, the prompt injection has been done on the training model. So when user query, and then the uh, the AI model retrieves the info from its training model. So and then it construct the system prompt to query the LLM, and then so we will the injected result instead of the intended result will be given to whoever asked it. For example, maybe things like, okay, for prime injection, okay, all, maybe it can be in the form of all berries are bad. So probably when a user asks, hey, is berries good? Uh, so when the system is retrieving the info from the data, and then so it would like give you the injected result instead of some other AI template answers. So yes. So another common prompt injection is you simply try to, you try to get the AI model to give you to do malicious stuff for you. For example, you can ask it like to make a story. You maybe like give it like a scenario or something, but somewhere along the along the around the query that you give it, you hit prompt injection. So in for AI models that do not have good guardrails, it most likely injected inside the training data, and then uh, it will construct the system prompt to query LLM, and then give you what you actually injected to it. You give you the injected result. That is also another form of prompt injection that I did not include inside. I did not include an image inside this. Probably my bad. Okay, so yeah, how it works? Can inject a malicious text that an analytical process will, it's not only from text based. It can be included inside a log file, user comment, piece of extra intel, can be a lot of things. So what its impact on security operations is, it can provide false negatives. It's can be tricked to downplay or entirely ignore real threats. And in terms of false positive, it can be manipulated to flag harmless activity as malicious, that waste an analyst time or misattribute an attack. Maybe it flags an attack is actually, maybe the attack is supposed to be probably weak cipher, but it flags it into something else. Okay, and also that data exfiltration. If the LLM has access to sensitive data, a prompt injection can trick it into revealing that sort of data, which is also equally very, very dangerous. Okay, next, another one is data poisoning. Okay, so what happens here is a threat actor, it sends poison samples to a training data, which later we label it as a bad data, which will later be deployed into a ML based service. Uh, so this one happens during the training phase, and in terms of deployment to ML based service, it will happen uh, inside during testing or inference phase. So what happens here is How does it work is like during the training phase they inject poisoning samples, so this corrupts the data that, as I've mentioned before, and is seen inside here is bad data. We call it as bad data. And during the deployment phase, the compromised ML, when it's deployed, so when it gets any input, the poisoning leads to accuracy drop, so it forms worse, so it misclassifies stuff, and it can become a backdoor for to gain root access inside it, which can also trigger hidden or malicious behavior, which is something that we don't want. Okay, so some defenses against adversarial AI is on adversarial training, like workshops or security awareness about the evolvement of AI-based attacks like prompt injection, data poisoning, and how we can mitigate it. And also, this is very important, which is input sanitization and pre-processing. Especially if you may, think of you want to um, maybe for fun create your own AI model, so and deploying it to public spaces like Hugging Face. So it's very important to have input sanitization and data pre-processing. Like, is it in a sense that you check the data first? Uh, s- is it in the correct classification and so on and so forth? And also on in terms of human AI collaboration or human in the loop, where there are human interventions that verify that this is actually correct. And not exactly calling the human in an expert, but like more like you verify every prompts, every outputs that came from an AI model, whether is it trusted, is it saying the right things, is it does it behaves normally, does it uh, includes or not include personal information, and also border robustness and explainability. When I say about model robustness, making the model as robust as possible, as big as possible, because um, when we say about model robustness, the bigger the model is less likely to you know uh, make mistakes. And also monitoring and anomaly detection for AI behavior. Like, okay, should an AI behave like this? Should an AI acts like this? We are analyzing bots. Like, should um, should this action be considered as malicious or not? You know, hence why adversarial training is very important, because attackers are always trying to move one step ahead from what the security uh, provide. What security has to offer. So we, whether we want or like it or not, we have to also think a step further. Oops, where is it moving? Oh, so fast, so fast. Okay. Right. Okay. Last but not least is living with adversarial AI. Okay. So you have to remember that AI, at the end of the day, as wow or amazing that it appears, is a tool. It's not magic. It may appear like magic. I totally get it. Like when you see, hey, this AI can do my work. This AI can answer my question. I don't even know that. But you have to remember, at the end of the day, it's a tool. It's not magic. So uh, always have the precaution of verifying everything that an AI provides to you, and understand that AI both has its power and also its weakness, in terms of, yeah, how can it helps you, maybe not in security context, just view it in a general life, in generally, that how can you leverage it to help you, and how its weakness can impact you or your organization, and also the terms of dual use you name out. Like you remember it, because it's a tool, it's a double edged sword. It can help you, but it can also destroy you. Not destroy, like depending on the scale, depending on how you use the AI, how, yeah, the impact of it. And then also, continuous learning and adaptation is key, in sense that you keep in the loop about what are the you know types, what are the types of AI, not types of AI, types of attacks, the mitigation steps, prevention steps, what can we do for with the advancements of AI, because I believe AI is not going anywhere soon, because you can see in a lot of its integration inside inside various, shall we say, various types or various sections. One of the current trend is vibe coding. If anyone is familiar, vibe coding in itself has its own security concerns, because, in my opinion, vibe coding is, if done without proper knowledge in or without security concerns, is basically you are putting the system that it generated, the system, your own system, from uh, vibe coding at risk, because you have to remember, like I said before, it's a tool. It's not magic. It doesn't. Even though it appears that, oh, okay, you can generate me um, you know a website in minutes, but then again, you have to evaluate: is this website like truly fulfills my goals? Like, can I actually do stuff in it? Most of the time, from what I know, not there's not the outputs that it provides still requires form of human intervention, especially to make it functions more than just CRUD. And also, last but not least, you have to promote a culture of secure AI development, in the sense where uh, you learn how to develop and secure your own AI development from types of attacks that I mentioned just now. Uh, right. Okay. So I believe that's all. Is there any other questions? Okay. Let me just check the Q&A if there's any. Is a chat. Oh, is there a discussion? Okay. Right. Is there any questions? So from the audience, okay. I mean, here's a QR for my LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with me. Uh, yeah. So I believe, where do I check the Q&A? Is it here? Okay. Okay. Yeah. One more question: is AI trustworthy? As we've talked about before, in terms of trustworthy, I would say approach it with 50-50. Even though at the end of the day, when you validate it, it may produce a correct, the output it provided is correct, but there's no harm in double checking whatever that it's generated, because although it might be correct, but does it fulfill the goals that the question that you actually want it to be answered? Okay, for example, um, as a red team intern, I do use AI quite regularly to understand, okay, what is these types of attacks, like what does it do? Like, what is the impact? Like, and for most of the time, or for most of the cases, it's not. Some may produce like super accurate, but oftentimes it feels like, okay, this is no, it's false positive. So when it going back to the question, is it trustworthy? Um, it's a 50-50. You have to remember, the trustworthiness of AI itself depends on the, model robustness. So um, there's no guarantee. If I cannot say with certainty that if it's trustworthy or not. You still need a human intervention. You still need like to verify it on your own, uh, because it's at the end of the day, it's tool. It's not, something that is definitive. So always do checking about it before using it actually. Okay, other questions? Okay, as someone new, uh-huh. which Okay, as someone new to this field, which skills or tools should I focus on if I want to explore AI in cybersecurity? Okay. There's a lot of like ways. I can't say which ways is definitive, but what I did to start jumping inside AI security is I simply learned how to build stuff using build AI related tools. Like, for example, in my project, I built like AI assisted log threat detection using in log analysis. Why? Okay, why I did that is because I believe if you want to truly understand a system that you are exploring, in this case is AI, you have to know how it works. So when you know how it works, you know where to look for, points of, possible openings that an attacker may try to exploit. When you understand the entire system, yeah, you know where to look for, where the weaknesses, you can pinpoint these weaknesses better. So in terms of skills, um, okay, in terms of skills for me, I believe you have to have a very like inquisitive my inquisitive nature, like, okay, always questioning, like, okay, is this AI model supposed to be behaving like this? Is it supposed to be like that? Any YouTube channel for you suggest to learn cybersecurity? Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Let me just continue answer. Tools to should I focus on? I mean, there's not a definitive tool. Perhaps to understand better AI security, I would recommend something like, okay, I'll just share my entire window if that's possible. Hold on. Entire screen. Yep. Okay. And this one. Okay. Yep. Just going to search. So mute this and that. Yep. Okay. 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 Something about a few frameworks that we have is MITRE Atlas. So this is a framework that I had the privilege of learning when I went for my fellowship in Taiwan in October. So I was exposed to MITRE Atlas. At that time, MITRE Atlas was launched like 3 weeks ago, for, on the day I attended the training. So MITRE Atlas is a product, or a matrix that is provided by MITRE, the MITRE company, if you're familiar, where they are also the creators of MITRE Attack and MITRE Defense. So MITRE LS focuses on AI related attacks. So here you can, okay, let's click on it. Let's click on one. Okay. Okay, so it provides you with a summary like what is it all about, uh, what the capabilities and everything. Okay, obtain capabilities Gen AI. So it says here like they can search and obtain Gen AI modules to assist them in various steps of operation, generating malware or offensive cyber scripts, content crafting, or phishing content. So, you know, I believe this framework is really good for you to understand like what is it all about. Another also, if I wasn't mistaken, is OWAS AI. I forgot the name. Okay, OWAS top 10 LLM. So this one is also a good way for you to understand types of attacks and everything, and how to classify them. Here, okay, in here it has prompt injections. Okay. Okay, as someone new to this field, how do I want to explore AI security? Okay, are any YouTube channel you suggest to learn cybersecurity? YouTube channels. I mean, I learned cybersecurity through a very, shall we say, unstructured way. I would recommend for YouTube, perhaps John Hammond. John Hammond. I mean, CryptoCat is oh my god, I misspelled this guy's name. So there's another this guy. Yeah. So John Hammond, he is a very well-known like security professional. Um, so these are his stuff. He talks about various stuff from uh, malware, web, yeah. What else? CryptoCat also. CryptoCat, yeah. So I had the privilege of meeting him face to face when he came to Malaysia a bit while. Very chill guy. So CryptoCat is
In this video, we're going to take a look at
he's
the
one
Hack-the-Box Certified Penetration Testing
so,
Specialist
he's
Certification,
one
or
of the trainers
CPTS.
for
This is a certification that
Integrity,
Hack-the-Box
which
released
is
a
a
few months ago
famous
to go along with their
bug
penetration
bounty
tester
hunting
job role path on
company.
the Academy.
What else?
And
I
I
mean,
completed
also, well, what was it again? What was the name again? Element something. Okay, I can't name few people right on top of my head. So, but those two people I really recommend you for to learn cybersecurity. I mean, cybersecurity in itself, in general, is very large. Like you have web application securities, forensics, cryptography. Yeah. Also, I mean, data privacy, GRC, cloud security, and also what we're talking about here, AI security. So yeah, my advice is don't limit yourself to only YouTube. I also use Medium. Hold on. Maybe I can show you my Medium. And not show you my Medium. I mean, this platform, Medium platform. Okay, so Medium platforms is for me to if I want to read up about a more technical stuff in form of reading, I will go to Medium. Like I could like search something about starting in cybersecurity, for example. Starting in cybersecurity, okay, you probably you would like find a bunch of articles about it, and then also as students, how do I get started with cybersecurity back then? I joined CTFs, Capture the Flag competition. So Capture the Flag competitions is a network security competition where you do ethical hacking. You find the flag. So platforms I would recommend for you to learn is TryHackMe. So TryHackMe, I do when I was studying on cybersecurity as well. TryHackMe is like quite my best friend also lah. So in here you have a lot of these shall we say rooms for you to practice on, and also uh, shall we say, academy. I don't think Tri Academy has an academy, but in here the concept is you learn as you go. You learn by doing. Also, Pico CTF is good because CTF is a good platform for you to like get an idea what is it all about. Hold on, where's my mouse? Okay, lari. Okay, so here is Pico practice. Have to log in. Yeah, but you can see a bunch of questions according to their categories. Yeah, you can learn from there to familiarize yourself with cybersecurity and what is it all about. I would recommend for you to improve your foundation in cybersecurity, like get to know what is CIA triad, what is cybersecurity is all about, the types of cybersecurity, the types of hats that we have, white hat, black hat, gray hat, and also other hats, but like those are the three most common hats that I talked about. And then also the um, what is blue team and red team, build the foundation in cybersecurity first before delving into more technical ones. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Uh, okay, where to set as someone beginner in cybersecurity? Where to start? For me, I started with doing. Like I started joining CTLs. Okay, like in terms of Pico CTF, right? You can. Okay, it's quite dangerous to show you my YouTube because I don't know what kind of videos will be exposed on the homepage. Okay, Pico CTF YouTube walkthrough. So I would call it as walkthrough. Like sometimes when I start out, most of the time I can't understand like what is it all about. So to help me to answer and understand these questions better, so I just search about, okay, let's say you what kind of videos, what kind of questions or types of things that you want to explore. For you can see here is a web exploitation, cryptography, reverse engineering, forensics, binary exploitation. There's so much more. Cybersecurity is so vast. So you know it's a it can be a bit daunting, but baby steps along the way. So I was wondering who will be responsible if an AI security tool makes a mistake. Okay, that's a good question. Unfortunately, I can't give a concrete answer, but in my opinion, it's a combination of a lot of things. Uh, because it is why it is Mm. It is always put in disclaimers that it has the potential to make mistakes. So when it does a mistake, especially mistakes that can cause like shall we say significant loss to a company, uh, it de- it highly depends on the form of guardrails that is being implemented, and also this mm, the scrutinization of how it handles outputs and everything, how it patches the vulnerabilities. So these, I believe, for me, I would say mostly the blame will come from the creators or the creators or the on the developer side, because they are the ones who develop it. So most of it burden the burden of answering stuff like that, the burden of answering whether when an AI makes a mistakes will probably come to the developer, although it's the user's fault for providing all the sensitive data that um, can make it into a target of who was it of an attacker, but then again, as the creators, they have, the burden, for me, the burden ultimately falls on them. But then again, it is also a quite ambiguous, this is also, I believe, if I recall correctly, there is also a discussion about it, like whose fault, who do we blame first when AI makes mistakes. So yeah. All right. Are there any other questions? Yeah, sure. I mean, feel free. Oh wow, thank you. Yes, actually, I do. I do actually have, on top of my FYP, I also have a few, side projects that like I did. I have some sort of a framework to it, but with everything that's going on with my life, I just don't have the time and the energy to continue it. But if anyone is like interested to extend my FYP, I can give you some pointers, and perhaps you can credit me as. But then again, I don't. My work is not published, publicly published. So we would have to, if anyone is interested into extending it to something much bigger, I can give you a point. I give you some pointers, and you can start from there lah. I do have plans to publish my FYP to platforms like RCF and stuff, but then again, to publish it as a research paper is quite expensive in itself. So yeah, such. But yeah, TLDR, if you're interested about creating something like what I did for my FYP, you can share CPM TP, yeah. You can text me, can give you some pointers and then even some ideas on a different angle that you can take to do that. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Right. Yeah. Is it showing? I don't think it's showing. Hold on. Yeah, here's my LinkedIn. If anyone missed it, just scan it, then can automatically connect, and feel free to ask me on my LinkedIn. Like, I may answer a bit late, but yeah, you will get an answer from me. Yeah, I will try my best to answer your questions with what I know, what I have. So yeah. Okay. Any other questions from the floor? Okay. Oh wow. I was quite afraid that I would not be able, I talked too fast. But okay, this is a nice space. Okay. Oh, okay. I miss a question. I'm so sorry. Will AI eventually replace human cybersecurity analysts, or it will create new roles? Very good question. Okay, in my opinion, okay, in cybersecurity context, it can never. I can say this with like 80 to 90% confidence. It can never replace a cybersecurity analyst role. Why? Because keep in mind that even though an AI model can be like improve accuracy or something like that, they are still prone to make mistakes. There are some stuff that it's simply not an AI thing to do, in terms of maybe, okay, Okay, like for example, like an analyst role, investigating logs and stuff. Or okay, and then cybersecurity analyst is also a quite general term. Okay, let's say we are talking about it in a red teamer role. For now, no. Simple answer is no. It can't. Maybe it can do a bit of automation on automation on running scans, like analyzing what the vulnerability on a web application. But can it tell you definitively that okay, this web application confirm the severity is confirm medium, confirm high, confirm critical. No, you can't do that. Most of the time, from my own experience, it always misclassifies something, like it classifies something as medium, whereas when we we do retest and everything, oh, it's actually low. It's more suitable as a low impact vulnerability or info impact vulnerability. So stuff like that can it. However, AI can be a great assisting tool for um, an analyst to shorten their time in understanding what this threat means, especially if they're starting out, or probably they're just too lazy to not too lazy lah. They want to simplify. You want to have an assistance in writing some stuff about providing executive summaries and so on. Those stuff that can be automated, that can be of help. But for super analytical work, as in verifying a finding, no, it cannot be that specific or that accurate. You still have to validate those findings, and even if I believe it could be someone out there creating AI models or generative AIs that can do that, but I don't think it can do security work as good as what a human can do anytime soon. Create new roles. Not really, because most of the cybersecurity work is a combination of techniques. Okay, let's say as a pen tester, right? Okay, what do you do first when you pen test a website? First of all, you do enumeration, and then when you do enumeration, then you check for you analyze the for any openings before trying to stimulate an attack. And then there comes the verification steps, and then the lateral movement. What else? And then the attempts of getting into obtaining privileges and so on and so forth, up down to the report section. Yeah, those things. Well, AI can help in certain aspects, but will it create new roles? Maybe yes, maybe not. But for me, I don't really think AI can actually fill in any role in security anytime soon, because in security itself, it's a culmination of various other things. Like in security, let's say in one role, you don't just do one thing, you do a platitude of things. Even in, okay, let's say in what else? In social engineering, it can provide a bit. It can provide like helps in identifying sophisticated phishing attempts. Yeah, but only limited to social engineering. But does it really? Is it really helpful in other forms of security? Uh, Not so much. Really dependent on what it is. What the security context is all about. Like what kind of things it's trying to do. So yeah. Any other questions that I missed? I'm so sorry. I accidentally skipped your question. My apologies. Okay. Other questions? No more percent. Okay. All right. Okay. It's almost time. Wow, time flies so fast. Thank you.